we're going to dive into something that is an absolute game changer for B2B marketers. We're talking about moving beyond just tracking any old lead in Google Ads and getting to the really good stuff, tracking actual sales qualified leads and real revenue opportunities. So if you're using HubSpot and Google Ads, you are in exactly the right place. We are about to connect the dots between your marketing spend and your bottom line. Let's get right into it.
So let's kick things off by talking about a really common problem, something I like to call the B2B ad blind spot. You know how it goes. You're running your Google Ads, you're getting clicks, and hey, you're even getting those form submissions. But there's this huge gap between that first click and a lead actually turning into a paying customer. And the problem is our ad platforms are often completely blind to what happens in that gap.
So let me just ask you this straight up. Does this sound familiar? You're pouring your budget into ads. The reports are showing conversions, which looks great, but then you talk to your sales team and it turns out a ton of those leads were just tire kickers, or maybe students, or just not the right fit at all. You're paying for contacts, but what you really want to be paying for is contracts. And you know, this is a massive headache for so many businesses out there.
And this really breaks down the core issue, right? On one side, you've got the quantity of leads. Basically, any form submission counts. Yeah, it's super easy to measure, and it definitely makes our dashboards look busy, but it can be so misleading. But then, on the other side, you've got the quality of sales. We're talking about tracking actual sales qualified leads, or SQLs. This is what's directly tied to revenue, and this is the crucial part. It lets Google's algorithm make way smarter bidding decisions for you.
Okay, so why is making this connection so critical? Well, without it, you're pretty much flying blind. You're essentially telling Google's incredibly powerful machine learning, hey, go find me more people who fill out forms. And that is a completely different instruction than go find me more people who are actually likely to become paying customers. Not making this connection has real consequences, and it hits you right in the budget.
And this says it all, doesn't it? It's all about the financial impact. Every single dollar you spend on a lead that has zero chance of converting is a dollar down the drain. See, when Google's algorithm has incomplete data, it treats a student doing research exactly the same as it treats a VP who's got a budget and is ready to buy. By feeding it better data, we can literally teach it to spot the difference and focus your ad spend where it's actually going to count.
All right, enough about the problem. Let's get to the solution. And the best part is, if you're using HubSpot Forms, this is surprisingly easy to set up. Seriously, there's no custom code, you don't need a developer, none of that. We're going to walk through a simple 3-step process to sync your valuable HubSpot data directly into Google Ads. So let's build that bridge. Okay, first things first, we got to make sure that basic connection is solid. So go ahead and log into your HubSpot portal. Once you're in, head over to your settings. Then under the marketing dropdown, you're going to find ads. From there, just click on the Connected Accounts tab. You should see your Google Ads account right there. Now, the most important part, make sure that little toggle, the one that says Sync Leads from Google Ads, is switched on. This is what lets HubSpot automatically grab all the ad data when someone fills out one of your forms.
All right, step 2. Now that the connection's confirmed, we're going to create the actual conversion events. This is really the heart of the whole setup. Back in HubSpot, navigate over to Marketing, then Ads, and this time find the Conversions tab. Click on Create Conversion Event. Now here's the magic part. For the trigger, you're going to choose Contact Lifecycle Stage Changes. For your first event, pick the stage Sales Qualified Lead. Give it a clear name, something like HubSpot SQL, and save it. That's it. Now just rinse and repeat. Do that exact same process, but this time, create a second event for the Opportunity stage.
Now for the final step over in Google Ads. Hop into your Google Ads account, go to Tools and Settings, and then under Measurement, click on Conversions. And there they are. You should now see your 2 new conversion actions that you just made in HubSpot. Now listen up, because this part's really important. By default, Google sets these as secondary actions. This is actually a really smart safety feature. It means they'll be tracked, but they won't mess with your bidding just yet. I'd recommend leaving them this way for a few weeks, just to let the data pile up without rocking the boat. Once you're confident in what you're seeing, then you go in and switch their status to primary. And that is when you unleash the real power of this whole integration. So you've done the work, the data's flowing in. What now? Well, this is the fun part. This is where the real strategy kicks in. Because this isn't just a technical setup. It's a fundamental shift in how you think about your B2B advertising. You are now armed with the ability to make decisions based on what actually drives revenue, not just what drives clicks.
So here's your new playbook. First, don't just turn off your old form submit conversion. Keep it active, but start watching the data for your new SQL and opportunity conversions really closely. See which campaigns, which ad groups, which keywords are actually driving those sales qualified leads. Once a campaign has enough data, a good rule of thumb is about 30 SQLs in a 30-day period. That's your green light. Go into that specific campaign settings and change its main conversion goal to your new HubSpot SQL conversion. From there, you can confidently switch the bidding strategy over to maximize conversions or target CPA, knowing that you're optimizing for what truly matters to the business. And the main takeaway here is this: you are fundamentally changing the instructions you give to Google. You're no longer just asking it to find people who are good at filling out forms on the internet. You are now training one of the most powerful machine learning algorithms on the planet to go out and find you more people who look just like your actual sales qualified customers. And that is a massive, massive upgrade. And as you make this shift, it kind of forces you to ask a bigger question. It's not about cost per lead anymore. It's about cost per SQL, or maybe even cost per opportunity. You can finally start calculating the true return on your ad spend, connecting it directly to your sales pipeline, and ultimately to revenue. So, I'll leave you with that to think about. What could your campaigns really achieve if every single decision was based on driving revenue and not just clicks? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. If you found this breakdown helpful, please share it with a friend or a colleague who might need it, and be sure to subscribe to our channel Beyond Busywork for more deep dives into the tools and strategies that drive real business growth.